today I'm going to be playing a Patreon deck from Satchel. So this is a Soul Fragment Warlock deck. I guess it's kind of like Handlock, right? Because we've got like our cheap control-y spells, and then we have our big chain of idiots at the top end. So yeah, I guess you could say this is a Handlock deck. So we have Flesh Giants, which have synergy with the Soul Fragment cards. We are maxed out on Soul Fragment stuff, payoff cards, and the Shufflers. We've got a couple copies of Demonic Studies to get some cool demons, or probably more practically, so that we can play Void Drinker a turn early or Enhanced Dreadlord a turn early. Got a couple copies of Expired Merchant for some more value. Discard a Militia or a Dreadlord could be pretty good. And then we've got a couple copies of Raised Dead as more of a just generic value generator. Seems like a fun deck, so let's take it for a spin.
I will fight with honor. You face Mecha-Jaraxxus!
Spirit Jailer is nice. I'm pretty tempted to keep Brittlebone Destroyer against Paladin. I think I will. Could even keep Raised Dead as an activator for it, but I don't know if that's necessary.
I cannot wait to read these.
That's a nice 1/3 you've played over there, opponent. How's mine? So I guess next turn is Hero Power plus Demonic Studies, and then turn 4 can be Void Drinker with the Studies discount.
Reporting for duty.
Could clear him with Dark Skies here instead. God, I love for my Paladin opponent to not have anything in play. But maybe I just let the Void Drinker deal with it.
Computing.
Nah, fuck your board.
I feel bad for you. Hitting me.
I should have probably tapped before Soul Sharing, because I don't actually want to draw a Fragment here. Probably doesn't matter that much.
Become the hero this world needs. Greatness calls.
Looks like it's time for a Brittlebone Destroyer. So that means I'm tapping and coining. 4 mana 3/3, deal 15 damage. Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm going to throw the book at you.
Raised Dead, so Spirit Jailer, Brittlebone Destroyer, and that's it. I'm actually like pretty down to draw another Brittlebone Destroyer here, but I could tap Brittlebone Destroyer, and then sometimes this hits 2 Brittlebone Destroyers. I think that's the play. Isn't Brittlebone Destroyer just the nuts in this matchup? Don't I want as many of those as possible?
I wonder. I must have slain 100 or so.
I think I kind of want to trade off Brittlebone Destroyer here to guarantee another one. Oh, I can actually go Brittlebone plus Dark Skies. What's the other line? Trade off the Brittlebone, and then I go Spirit Jailer, Raise Dead, and then like maybe another Spirit Jailer. I think this is a good turn to make use of the Dark Skies. Oh. That one's playable. Could have played the Demonic Studies here. Probably would have been good to do so, but I was roping and didn't think I had time.
Reporting for duty.
Looks like a pretty good Sociologist turn. Could play a Demonic Studies along with that. Other plays are Giant Taunt Minion, Giant Taunt Minion, Giant Taunt Minion. I think I like Sociologist. So let's start with this. I think I'm just going to take Jiraxxus for the heal in case I end up needing it. And at 8 mana I can actually hero power with it the turn I play it. But I might be using up that discount before then. He punches me to 7, I tap to 5. That's safe, I think. I can tap for Brittlebone Destroyer here. So he needs 4 damage here. But since one of his damage is coming from this, it can't be Lightforge Zealot. So I don't think I'm ever dead this turn. And then I can heal for however much with Jiraxxus if I really need to. Or sometimes I kill him. I have 16 plus 9. So I have 25 here, right?
Reporting for duty.
12, 25. I knew Brittlebone Destroyer was the nuts in this matchup. It's the 4th one that gets him.
Mecha Jiraxxus versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
You face Mecha Jiraxxus.
Spirit Jailer's always nice. I think it is a keep off the mulligan. Wow, I'm gonna have to get really unlucky for this Void Drinker to not be active on curve.
What to do? You don't pick the ones, eh?
Can kill this with Mortal Coil. I think I do like tapping here. I don't think I need to kill the 2/2. Mortal Coil can be pretty good later on to clean up after a Dark Skies or a School Spirits or something. Basically play the slow card first.
Someday I'll be just like you. Oh, it says explode.
This is a pretty reasonable School Spirits. It's also a reasonable Dark Skies, but I think Dark Skies is the better card to have in hand. And I want to play the School Spirits before turn 7 anyway, so seems fine to play it here.
Buy one, get one free.
Please stop drawing soul fragments. Oh, expired merchant. Alright, so next turn might be like expired merchant and then kill it with either coil or dark skies. And then I can Soulciologist on 7 and then again on 8. Back-to-back Soulciologists are going to be pretty hard to deal with. At least I got myself a nice River Croc here. Way better than a Bloodfin Raptor. Probably just need to Brittlebone Destroyer that. Picked up some more soul fragments, so my Soulciologists can be even bigger. Fucking adorable.
No, don't. It's still good.
Oh shit, it was Counterspell. I'm gonna get kind of wrecked by Devolving Missiles here, but he doesn't have that many cards in his hand, and I've already seen one. So I think it makes sense to shoot his guy instead of mine. Wow, that's a really terrible Conjurer's Calling. Although the Abomination is pretty good against Soulciologist next turn. I might even just not play Soulciologist because that's so good.
Wanna bite?
Always trading here. How good are a bunch of 3/1s? He's got a Conjurer's Calling and a spell damage minion. Oh, wait, he's got this, though, so 3/1s kind of suck. I am interested in clearing this board, even the obelisk, since he does have Conjurer's Calling. I think I want a Dark Skies here. Could have played the Expired Merchant here, but I don't know that I want Enhanced Dreadlord. I think I would definitely rather get more Sociologists. I don't know how practical that is, but that's what I want to happen. Play Sociologist before tapping because sometimes this happens. Okay, well, super rewarded for my order. Oh, I just play this, right? No way he's dealing with that. It's the best card he could have had, but I still have an 8/8 in play, an 8/4 in play. Well, he's getting punched for 8. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. It's kind of a bummer if my 2/1 gets transformed, but I've seen 1 Devolving Missiles already, and Devolving Missiles is not super good on this board, because, like, Flesh Giant turning an 8/4 into a 7-drop is pretty bad for him. And also, by playing the Expired Merchant this turn, instead of next turn going like Merchant Coil Sociologist, I can Soul Shear next turn and get more Soul Fragments, which is pretty good, because a 3 Fragment Sociologist isn't that impressive. Alright, so this was our objective, right? Playing Sociologist here. There was probably some rolling fireball math here to figure out what I wanted to trade with. Oh well. So I have to assume that's Flame Ward. Okay, I guess it wasn't Flame Ward. Not a very good bluff.
Versus Illidan. Back for more, demon. You face Mechajaraxxus.
Well, this matchup sucks. Let's try to find some Spirit Jailers, some Soul Shears. Void Drinker's pretty good. Dark Skies might be okay.
They're not trapped. They're my friends.
So it looks like my curve might be turn 3 Dark Skies, turn 4 Sense Demons, and hope that I hit a Spirit Jailer, which I think with 2 of these in hand, it's like 5 out of 6 to hit at least 1 Spirit Jailer. And then turn 5 we can play Void Drinker, and then turn 6 we can play another Void Drinker. It's kind of hard to justify Dark Skying this board though. So maybe I play School Spirits here. Maybe both of my next turns are School Spirits. Oh my god. Am I getting griefed by... Okay. My previous opponent was also a Demon Hunter, and he roped every single turn, so I thought it was happening again. But yeah, next turn might be School Spirits plus Spirit Jailer. I don't necessarily need to play Sense Demons since I picked this guy up. Sense Demons draws exactly 2 cards. 1 Spirit Jailer, 1 Enhanced Dreadlord. Not in a big hurry to draw either of those. So we're probably just going to go Void Drinker on 5, Void Drinker on 6, and then Dreadlord on 7. Even for Demon Hunter, that's a pretty big sequence of taunts. And he's spending this turn soul shearing that. Well, the nightmare this turn is Lapidary. Let's see if he has it. Another one? I could tap plus Brittlebone Destroyer here. This is about as big as his minions get. Let's go for that. I've got this Raised Dead sitting in my hand. I could have played it here to guarantee another Void Drinker, which might have been pretty good. And even the Spirit Jailer I got back was pretty good. But I do take 3 damage casting this card, so I might want to hold off on it until I run out of stuff.
Our enemies will fall.
Kill his big man, play a big man of my own. Of course, he has 5 soul fragments in his deck. Sure. Belgard has taunt. Yeah, I think it's got to be an Enhanced Dreadlord here. I don't feel very safe right now.
Time grows short. Demons?
Alright, I'm gonna need to draw 4 consecutive soul fragments here. Oh, he traded. Cool. It does make sense to trade there. Actually, maybe the play is just Abyssal Summoner plus Felguard. Soul Shear looks pretty decent. This is the most defensive I can be, though. He does clear my taunts on board, but it's not that easy for him to have 14 damage on top of that. Unless he has a Blade Dance, then he could very easily kill me this turn. But it looks like he doesn't. So I could Expired Merchant, Mortal Coil. I feel like I just definitely don't need that much value, though. And if I do need that much value, I can just play Raise Dead. If I had, like, another Abyssal Summoner to play this turn, so I could play like that and then Merchant Coil, maybe I would have gone for it. But I think it's better to just play the Dreadlord here, and then if I really need the value next turn, I can Raise Dead. Almost everything I hit off Raise Dead is pretty good. Wow. The do nothing. So the Sense Demons draws exactly Spirit Jailer, probably not the play. Let's go ahead and try to play another big taunt. Oh, that's pretty good as well. Alright, no blade dances, please.
Demons.
Bad start to the turn for me.
Such a beautiful shield.
So the Nightmare here is still Blade Dance, as it is every turn. Ew. Oh no. Oh, I'm dead? Oh my god. That game went so well for me. This matchup is just not winnable, I'm pretty sure. Like, how do you ever win this matchup? Alright, so I ended up going 3-6 with Satchel's deck here. Which obviously is not great, but I don't think that's necessarily Satchel's fault. I think this deck is just currently really poorly positioned in the meta. So there are 3 reasons that I think this sort of Handlock deck just doesn't really have much of a chance in this meta, and that's Demon Hunter, Face Hunter, and Bomb Warrior. I didn't actually play against any Bomb Warriors, I don't think, but that matchup has to just be straight up unwinnable. Demon Hunter I did play against a few times, and even when I had pretty good curves, they just kind of always had enough damage, and it didn't really feel like there was much I could do about that. And then Face Hunter, I think Face Hunter is more manageable than the other two, but it's still hard to stand up to the consistent damage that deck can output. I think you do okay against the other decks, as far as I can tell at least, but those 3 decks are going to be a bit of a struggle. Now, unfortunately, I'm not really sure how much room there is to improve this deck. One small change I think we can make to make this deck a little bit better is cutting the Enhanced Dreadlords. The card is cool, but I think it's mostly just a bit too slow, particularly in the matchups that you really struggle with. So I want to cut Enhanced Dreadlords for our Nasi Broodmothers. Still a decent sized taunt minion, still has synergy with the Sense Demons, but it does offer us some healing without having to sink mana into it, and healing is definitely one of our bigger issues. I think the next weakest card in the deck is probably going to be Demonic Studies, but I'm not totally sure what we replace this with. If you're playing against Bomb Warrior, you could honestly probably justify playing Wormrest Purifier in that slot, because there's no other way that you're winning that matchup. You could maybe play a different tech card like Ooze in that slot to help out a little bit in those matchups. It is actually good against all 3 of the decks I'm concerned about, but Ooze does tend to be a bit of a sketchy card. You could play Tour Guide, but making it easier to deal damage to yourself doesn't tend to be good when your problem is dying. Maybe you could play Blood Mage Thalnos. It actually has several synergies in this deck that could be worth thinking about. Maybe we're desperate enough that we would play Earthen Ring Farseer in the Demonic Studies slot. That's pretty desperate though. I don't know if we're quite there. Maybe Frozen Shadow Weaver could be pretty good actually. I don't know that Frozen Shadow Weaver really fits the spirit of the deck, but not getting murdered by weapons is pretty good. Something else to consider is that maybe in this meta, Kartit Defender is like better than Abyssal Summoner maybe? Hard to say. Maybe it's better than one of the Brood Mothers. It actually sometimes has synergy with Flesh Giant as well. I feel like a lot of stuff that that Kartit Defender would die to, the Abyssals die to anyway. Maybe I'm overcompensating in the healing department, but it could be reasonable. I don't know. It's hard to make small improvements to this deck. I think I actually want to try out Frozen Shadow Weavers. Maybe it's not reasonable, but neither is my win rate against Demon Hunter. With any other changes, I think you'd have to be a little bit more drastic. You'd probably have to figure out how to support Nether Breath and the demon that doubles the damage of your spells. So how many deck slots is that? 2 for Nether Breath, 2 for Moarg Artificer, and then you probably need like at least 4 or 5 dragons. So you would need like 8 or 9 deck slots. Could play Crimson Hothead. That might be good in this deck. Alexstrasza would be a fine inclusion. And then I guess probably just Crazy Netherwings because they're the best dragon you could play. So how do we get 9 deck slots? Frozen Shadow Weavers. Sense Demons. I'm honestly so tempted to cut Dark Skies. I feel like 2 Dark Skies, 2 School Spirits is maybe too much. I guess we cut Expired Merchants probably. They're cute value, but I don't know if we need it. 4 more deck slots. I guess Kartit Defenders. I don't really want to cut Coils since we're adding Moarg Artificers. 1 Dark Skies, 1 Raised Dead, maybe? I did sometimes feel like the Raised Deads were a bit overkill. Although, cutting Raised Dead does make the Crimson Hothead a little worse. Where's Alexstrasza? Maybe Twilight Drake is better than Hothead. Hard to say. So yeah, you could do something like this, and then you get quite a bit more healing with Nether Breaths. Some healing with Alexstrasza as well. Nether Breath also has good synergy with Flesh Giant. Praise Netherwing works with Flesh Giant as well. This deck actually looks kind of fun. Maybe I'll play this tomorrow.